Welcome back, everybody. Aaron Rift here, along with good old JM, Jeff Meacham, to talk about more WrestleMania moments, matches, whatever.
Memories of days gone by.
Actually, right now we're going to discuss our top WrestleMania moments.
Okay.
You want to go ahead and start us off?
I will. My number 5 is actually 3 moments into one moment, I guess you can call it, because it's a personal one for me, is the Pete Rose segments. Pete Rose is my all-time favorite baseball player, one of my all-time favorite baseball personalities, period. And to see him get involved, the degree he did over the course of 3 years was just amazing. Arguably the most involved celebrity besides Mr. T in WrestleMania history. And he came back for 3 points. He came back for only 2 until last year. But Pete Rose getting tombstone twice and then getting the choke slam and then the stink face. I was there for the stink face in person. Luckily, I was way the hell up high at the ponds. I had to see the butt all closed like poor Pete did. But Pete Rose WrestleMania is definitely on my top 5 just because
it was a running thing.
Yeah, it was great. It was a great moment. And, and they make a joke about when they inducted him in the Hall of Fame about when's he gonna, and don't bet on it.
Yeah.
Number 4, another personal one for me. Ric Flair retiring. It's one thing. Yeah, he came back in TNA, and yeah, he wrestled. But I sat there on Saturday night with my dad in my nicest suit I could find and listened to his speech and thanking everybody he could possibly thank, including Chris Benoit. When it was definitely no to say Chris Benoit's name back then. It's on the DVD kits, but he does mention Chris Benoit in his speech. It's part of the Horseman. And then to watch him and Shawn Michaels do what they could only do best themselves the night later at WrestleMania. I don't have any shame in saying that I was brought to tears over
Well,
that.
yeah, I think everybody was.
But just to be part of that, up until he came back in TNA and wrestling.
Yeah.
I was one of only 70,000 people out of 6 billion on the planet that could say, I saw Ric Flair's last match.
Yeah. Last WWE
match.
That's what counts.
It's still what it is. Yeah.
That's what counts.
Exactly. I was one of 70,000 strong out of 6 billion. I like those odds.
Yeah.
The Hogan Rock stare down from 18. Not the match.
Absolutely.
Not the pose down. The stare. And the look to the crowd. And the look the other way. Just like it did at the night after No Way Out. I mean, holy cow. Just, the flashbulbs going off. And just, this is a WrestleMania moment, like JR said. It brought everybody in and made you realize, holy shit, Hulk Hogan's back in WWE. And it's on. He's with The Rock. Hulk slamming Andre. Up until The Rock stare down with Hogan, this was Hogan's biggest moment. He picked up the unslammable, 520 pounds, and pressed him over his head, as Hulk says he never got him over his head. And body slammed him. It was the slam heard around the world. Everybody in sports, not in wrestling, in sports, was talking about this the next day.
Right, and every time they show clips of WrestleMania moments, that's always like the number one moment that everybody remembers.
If ESPN had SportsCenter back then, it would have been a SportsCenter moment.
It is truly one of the most iconic moments.
Yeah.
Ever.
I mean, it's in it was in the WWE opening for a long time.
Yeah.
Because of that.
Yeah.
And up until last year, that was number 1.
Right.
But then last year happened. They were in New Orleans. And Brock Lesnar pinned The Undertaker in the middle of the ring in the Superdome and ended the streak. It's been a year. I am still not over that. I cannot sit here and tape this show with you comprehending the fact that The Undertaker's undefeated streak is over. That at the end of the day, whatever happens to Bray Wyatt this year is meaningless. It's useless because the streak is over.
Yeah, it was just beyond shocking. Nobody saw this coming.
That dude's reaction is everybody in this world.
Yeah.
I feel so stupid now. We were huddled around my computer at home because we didn't have the Roku on the big screen yet like you do here now, and like I do now. So we're huddled around the big screen, and my dad and I are just like we're drooling. We're so dumbfounded. Like, the fuck just happened?
And you're like, I'm here watching the match, tweeting, and I'm bored, and my wife was watching, and she goes in the other room because she's bored, and all of a sudden she just hears me screaming, Undertaker lost! And I'm like, what the hell?
How does it even happen?
She leaves the room. Right when she leaves the room, the match ends, and we're like, what the hell?
Yeah, I have gone back and watched that entire match twice since then, and I can't fathom it. I don't understand why the fuck. I don't get it.
Yeah.
It's mind-boggling. I don't understand. I don't understand.
All right, so that's your top 5. My top 5. I share 3 of the top 5 with you. Hogan slamming Andre, as we said, one of the most iconic moments. Played all the time, a moment you never forget. End of Ric Flair's career, very emotional at the time. Ric Flair, when he was walking out at the end.
It still is emotional. I mean, yeah, he kind of shit on it when he went to TNA and wrestled, but you know what? Like you said, the end of his WWE career.
I'm sure at the time he felt that was going to be his last match.
Right.
And then Undertaker's streak ending, as we just mentioned. I also wanted to mention, I said that the Iron Man match was overrated. That's how I feel. But the aftermath with Shawn Michaels grabbing the belt and the boyhood dream coming true,
Okay.
That's a truly iconic moment in WrestleMania history, in my opinion.
Okay.
And from WrestleMania 14, not the match itself between Michaels and Austin so much, but the aftermath with Mike Tyson knocking out Shawn Michaels and holding up the Austin 316 sign. As Jim Ross said, the Austin era had arrived. To me, that was a big moment,
Absolutely.
Kicking off the Attitude Era, putting it into full gear,
Right.
and helping WWE get the upper hand on WCW in the Monday Night War. So, that was a really critical moment.
Okay.
So we have...
8.
we actually have 7 there, so we need to come up with 3. So I had a couple ideas here.
I did too, but go ahead.
I was thinking, Daniel Bryan winning the WWE title after overcoming all the odds and all the, everything that was going on with the Yes Movement and
After seeing the start of that storyline live, at least for you, I was at Hooters across the street, but you were in the building for SummerSlam 2013 when that whole thing started.
Truly one of the biggest feel-good moments, and at the 30th WrestleMania, of course. So
okay.
what a way to end the show.
Yes.
And you could also say Chris Benoit and Eddie Guerrero embracing at the end of WrestleMania 20. Two guys you never thought would be world champions, win, and then embrace in the ring and the big celebration.
All right, and then I've got one. If you're, I'll throw in one if you're gonna throw in those 2.
Okay.
Because I took it off my list when I thought about Flair. It's crapped on now because of the way it went down in the aftermath and how it all played out over the course of 2001. That handshake between Stone Cold and Vince McMahon.
Yeah.
At 17. Like I said, my jaw hit the couch. I didn't pick it up for 2 days.
Well, whether you liked it or not, it was significant.
Because, you had that, you had the next night with Triple H siding with them, and then you had the beatdown of JR. That whole 3 days was like, the fuck?
Yeah.
So, I think that should be on there personally.
Yeah, and it's not necessarily our favorite moments, but
it's
it is the most memorable.
Yeah.
It was memorable. It was very significant in WWE history.
And had that whole year not been such a clusterfuck to begin with, I think it would be far more memorable as the moment itself.
Yeah, so there you go. That's our top 10.
There you go.